And the day finally came, went to DC with my TV crew, and they set us up in a room which is literally opposite the Oval Office. We put all our cameras in place, and all we're doing now is waiting for the president to arrive. So we're staring at the door with bated breath. And the reason we're staring is because they don't give you an exact time of the president's arrival for his safety, right? So they just give you a window, like the cable guy. So we're all waiting there, listening to every footstep, every moment. And then he just popped in behind us, scared the shit out of everybody. Yeah, because there's a secret door, but they don't tell you, again, for safety, right? So we're staring at that door, and all of a sudden he was like, hello. And I was like, ah! But I had a great time in the interview with him. He was really, really kind to everyone in the room. And then we turned off the cameras, and I promise you he became even nicer. We just had a conversation. I thought he was going to leave. I mean, he's president of the United States. You've got to go do something. And he just chilled for a bit, you know, and we spoke as human beings, and it went really well until he turned to me and he said, Trevor, you know, I got a show that I'm doing in a few weeks, a little thing that I thought maybe you'd want to pop by and perform, if you don't mind. I said, Mr. President, I would be honored. You just let me know when and where. What's the show going to be for, sir? He said, oh, well, Trevor, I'm doing a little thing for my aides, and I thought maybe you'd want to be there. I said, I would love to. Thank you. I'm sorry, a show for what? He said, for my aides, Trevor. I said, you have AIDS? And then he explained what he meant. And I wanted the earth to swallow me whole. Because I had just looked at the President of the United States and asked him if he had AIDS. And you know what the worst thing is that he was nice to me as well? Because I said that, and then he explained, and then I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. President, I didn't mean that. I don't even know why I thought it's just like you said AIDS, and like the AIDS. You know, because here's the thing, in my defense, right, I get it now. He means AIDS as in the White House aides, the people who help the president. I get it now, but in my defense, where I'm from, AIDS is some other shit that doesn't help anybody. No one in Africa is walking around like, let me introduce you to my aides, huh? So now I'm here and I'm frazzled and I'm like, Mr. President, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that. You don't have AIDS. You definitely, and even if you did have AIDS, there's nothing wrong with having AIDS. There's no stigma. We can still be cool. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying this. I'm so sorry. And he's like, Trevor, calm down. Trevor, calm down. I was like, I'm so sorry, Mr. President. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said I'm probably the dumbest person you've ever met, Mr. President. He's like, no, Trevor, calm down. I'm the dumbest person you've ever met. He's like, no, Trevor, that's not true. I've met Trump.
Pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri. I want pizza, not pizza. You want pizza? No, Siri, what's going on here? You want to, Siri, you're not making sense. Siri, are you having an attitude with me? You tell me. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Siri, just listen to me. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Siri, just, bitch. Dialing mom. What the hell? This is horrible. I had to buckle down and buy myself a real GPS to get me around, which has been working like a charm. If you don't have a GPS, you get yourself one. It's the best thing you'll ever do. Just don't make the mistake I made and buy it from Craigslist. I bought one off Craigslist, and the guy who sold it to me didn't tell me that it was a Spanish language GPS, which was not so good. I didn't understand anything she says. Look, I still get around because the arrows are in English, thank God. But otherwise, it was just horrible. And I hated it the first few days. And then I fell in love with her. She's just, you know, I don't understand why more Americans don't speak Spanish. It's such a sexy language. I'm sitting there and like all the men in here, you want to feel like a man. You get yourself a Spanish GPS. Oh no, you don't understand. Traffic never sounded sexier. It's just like, I just punch in random destinations and she guides me around. She's like, dum dum. Si que toco de que para conocí. En 200 metros sería la de la cha. And I'm just like, oh shucks, Tom. You say that all the time. She's just sexy, you know? She guides me around. It's beautiful. I I love that. I'm going to learn Spanish because of that. Spanish has gone up my list. I had a few languages in Spanish. Spanish was like 6th language. I spoke 4 languages in South Africa. And then the 5th language was going to be Japanese. And then Spanish was, but now Spanish has gone up. Japanese I've had to pause because of the earthquake. There's not that many of them traveling now. So it's sad. There's no one now. There's like walk around the streets, just, you know. But Spanish has gone up. Because I was getting good at Japanese, don't get me wrong. I was getting really good. You know, I could say, and it's a great language. It's powerful. Because you speak Japanese from your chest. It makes you feel strong. Hey there. Yeah, very strong. Whereas English you speak from the head and the chest. You know, do you know what I mean? You speak it head and chest. You wouldn't know this. You wouldn't know this if you listen to many coastal girls in America. Like I've been in places like California where women insist on speaking English from their nose, which is not the correct. Yeah, like, oh my God, are you guys gonna like do this? And I was like there with Tiffany, and we were talking, and that's not the right way. You're not using your lungs. I know this because when I choked her, she sounded exactly the same. Jesus. Then she's like, oh my God, you're like totally choking me right now, and I can't breathe, and this is so not on. I am so gonna tweet about this. This is like the worst thing ever. Oh, I am so dying. OMG. You know, it's horrible. Whereas Japanese is strong. Japanese, you speak from the chest, you know. A lot of the Americans are learning Chinese, I've seen. You know, Chinese. I see people say, you gotta learn Chinese. They're taking over. Chinese. Ni hao ma. Shi shi ni. Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just, you know, they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English, and there's still people going, "What comes after Q?" 26. This is, you know, 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 5 years later.
We called our Paralympic athletes Ama Krogo Krogo, which means the broken things. A bunch of crocs. That is the worst thing you can call a disabled person ever. Ama Krogo Krogo. That is what we call. You got Ama Krogo. That's probably what Reva said to Oscar that night. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't you call Ama Krogo Krogo? Ama. So anyway, I was doing a show for Ama Krogo Krogo, right? And because I'm there, I did no jokes about disabled people or anything that could be seen as offensive. I did nothing like that. And after the show, I was meeting some of the guys. Everything went well. And one of the athletes came up to me, and I'll never forget this till the day I die. He came up to me, and he was partially deaf. And he introduced himself, and he was a fan, a great fan. And he was like, hey, Trevor, hey man, how are you? I said, hey, how you doing, buddy? How are you? Good to meet you. Good. He said, yeah, man, great to meet you. Great to meet you. I'm a big fan. I said, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. He said, yeah, dude, I love your stuff. You know what? You should have subtitles because, you know, sometimes I don't get it because I'm partially deaf. I was like, oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know. I just thought you had an accent. That's cool, man. That's nice to meet you. He said, yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't have a question if you don't mind. I said, yeah, go ahead. He said, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? So I'm sorry, what? I don't tell jokes about deaf people. He said, yeah, how come you never tell jokes about deaf people? So what do you mean? So well, you tell jokes about everyone. Tall people, short people, black, white, everyone. But I've never heard you tell a joke about deaf people. Why? So you've never heard me tell a joke about deaf people? Yeah. No, man, not like that, you stupid. No, man, you're an idiot. I said, no, dude, I don't know. Like, I don't make jokes about deaf people. He's like, yeah, why not? I was like, because I can't do, I shouldn't make jokes about deaf people, because if I did that, then deaf people would be hurt and they would be offended.
Why would we be hurt? It's not like we don't know we're deaf.
So I never thought, I thought I was protecting you.
Protecting us from what? From laughing. We also want jokes. We're deaf. Yeah, we know we're different, but we still want the same things.
I was like, yeah, but you know what's funny is you say I must make jokes, right? But even if you're cool with it, you know who will complain? People who can hear. Yeah, they'll complain on your behalf because that's what people do. They get offended for other people. They'll be the ones going, oh, Trevor Noah's an asshole. He made jokes about deaf people.
He's like, so? Why do you care?
I said, because it hurts. It hurts.
He's like, dude, you're a comedian. Suck it up.
Hey, it's easy for you.
No, dude, just make the joke. If the jokes are funny, people will laugh and then we move on.
I was like, yeah, you know what? You say that. But then what do I do if they complain?
He's like, dude, if they complain, then complain. Okay? You know what? Go do the joke. Go do the joke. And then, if they complain, you must do what I do.
I was like, what do you mean?
No. You guys remember August? You guys remember that? They built their first escalators ever. Yeah. And so now it's all the rage. People go to the mall just to ride escalators. Yeah. But now, I don't want you to picture like some dusty village. That's not what Zambia is. It's a beautiful place. They're developing just as we are. They've got roads, they've got airports, they've got beautiful hotels, stunning shopping malls. They've got everything we've got, even faster internet. They just never had escalators. And now they started building them. And because of that, people go there and they just spend a day riding escalators. Dads will go home and fetch their kids. Children, we are going to the mall. To do what, Daddy? To do shopping. And to ride the escalators. Yay! We couldn't believe this, so we went to the mall, right? We get to the mall is empty. Escalators are packed. People are standing in lines, going around, doubling back on themselves. There's old people, young people, even couples. There were couples. Guys that actually picked up women by saying, I'm going to take you to the escalator, girl. Ooh, you're so fancy, eh? Escalators. Some people didn't even know how to ride the escalators. Kids were easy. They just jumped on. Old people would panic. There was one guy who got on the escalator and it was going up. And I guess to compensate for something in his mind, as it went up, he started leaning. He fell down. He was hurt so badly. Oh, it was fantastic to watch. We spent like 3 hours doing this, just watching people riding escalators. And you know what? Our patience paid off. Because in hour 3, the most fantastic thing happened. A school brought a class of children to the mall. And their excursion was just to ride the escalators. It was magic. 30 kids, about 5 years old, cutest things, wearing their little black and white uniforms. And they're standing there together holding hands, and they were so excited, so they're shining, you know, not from excitement, that Vaseline. And there's 2 teachers with the children, and they grab their hands on either end, and in a long train, they start to march through the mall. And as they do, they start singing at the top of their lungs like little angels. Escalator, escalator, escalator. Oh, escalator, escalator. And it was the sweetest thing ever. People are waving at them, smiling. And these kids see the escalators and they lost their minds. These kids went crazy. They're not holding hands. They start screaming and running around. It looked like a zombie movie or something. This is like they're jumping, but then you see the smiles on their faces. It looks like the end of Sarafina. You're like, what the hell's going on here? These kids are screaming and having the time. They're jumping around, doing cartwheels. The teacher can't control them. She's panicking like, yeah, get back, get back. 2 by 2, 2 by 2. 2 by 2 was one of the kids. I didn't know. She was like, 2 by 2, next to me, single file. Other kids are still jumping. She can't control them. There was one fat kid. He couldn't jump, so he just shook himself. Escalator. Escalator. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like I had gone in a time machine to a time when escalators were new, brand new and popular. So popular that people were taking pictures of the escalators using their iPhones. Chipiwa, technology, eh? Who even thinks of these things, eh? Can you imagine? Hey, we are in the future now, man. Mechanical moving stairs, huh?
What are we going to see next? I don't even know. Can you? I wonder how it works. Let me just check there. Siri, how does an escalator work?